A very, very good pro. Obviously, JJ knows him probably better than myself and been in change rooms with him, but he's a really good professional. And you're getting your rewards when you work hard. A manager's very demanding, as he said. Some players want that pat on that back, need it, but this manager doesn't let you rest on your laurels. Listening to people that speak about him in the past who have been in these change rooms, he's very demanding and he's getting the best out of this Everton team at the minute.
I also know from speaking to him very recently that, having made the move to Everton, it wasn't one of those moves that was kind of like, there was no social media post and welcoming, of like, wow, Andros Townsend has joined Everton Football Club. It was one of those ones that went under the radar. But, Everton Football Club and Rafa knew what they needed, knew what they were getting in him. But he still had to find some stuff within himself that he felt like he'd lost a little bit. And it's been great to see him get off to such a good, positive start and repaying, as you said, the faith in the manager and the football club with the goals. Because he's got that in him. It was just about finding it again. And Demarai Gray is exactly the same.
Yeah. I mean, those two players, mate. 1.7. You said
I was going to say that 2 finds of the season in terms of what you're getting with Andros Townsend in terms of work rate and stuff. But Demarai Gray kind of just slipped off the radar. Had a spell where he was very much in and out at Leicester. Didn't probably fulfil his potential. He was on the bench for England at one point. Went to Bayer Leverkusen and then pops up for just short of £2 million. So unbelievable still, and the output, the goals, they were a thorn in Manchester United side, both of them today.
Well, Everton were going through a little phase as a football club where 40 million was becoming the standard fee for an attacking player, and not all of them have paid off. And the recruitment this year has been a lot more kind of streamlined. And bringing in these 2 players, it sounds crazy to say, but they could be 2 of the signings of the season, just based on the number alone. It's so low.
But 1.7 million for the
scary. It is really scary.
I'm really
maintain that consistency.
To talk about Demarai particularly, because when you look at a player, I think he made 2 appearances for Leicester last season. They sold him in January. He was then bought by Leverkusen for £2.5 million, and then they took £1 million hit on him to get him out of the football club. And you sort of think, wow, this is the beginning of a downward trajectory. How do you suddenly find this kind of form and this kind of belief as a professional footballer? How do you both read this story?
I think you've got to find... We were talking about this off air. I think you've got to find a manager that believes in you. I played under, for instance, Capello. I weren't sure when he first came if he fancied me or not. When you're in that position where you're not sure if the managers really are on your side or really does believe in you, it's not a good place to be. It doesn't breed any confidence. And especially attacking players, they feed off confidence. They feed off arm around the shoulder, a belief that they can feel from the manager. And I don't think he really felt convinced that maybe Brendan and the manager he had at Bayer Leverkusen felt like that. Whereas here, he's straight into the team from nowhere, confident straight away. The manager, it's just the fact he's put him in the team to start is enough for someone like Demarai Gray, who hasn't really felt that as much in his career probably as he would have liked since he left Birmingham.
I think by all accounts as well, I think, again, it goes back to good management from Rafa Benitez. I think from what I've heard, he maintained a connection with Demarai even before he'd even signed for Everton. So it was very much like encouraging stuff. And then, when that moment comes when he became available, Demarai knows he's going to a man that he can trust and that actually loves him. That marriage between like a player like Demarai and a manager is very, very important. And he may not have had that, but there's also probably an element where Demarai's had to look at himself and he's grown. He's watched a load of players in under-21s come flying past him as well and progress. And he knows now he's in that serious phase of his...
celebrated he was then, though, as a young England player.
Well, he's in that serious phase of his career now, where he's seen all that and he's had the hit and gone, hang on a minute, they're all going past me, I need to wake up. So mix that with, with the club that he's at, with Rafa, and in growing and maturing a bit, you're getting a top player.
Let's just look at the disallowed goal, because obviously it was frustrating for Everton. Andros said it there. I don't know in this situation, because I've not played the game, whether it's the man making the run like Mina.
This is what happens when centre-halves get themselves in the box.
This is it. Stay where you belong.
Getting far too excited, thinking he's got a tap in. I mean, look,
Tom Davies will not sleep tonight. Yeah, he should have shot.
That's what you were saying, really. I mean, look at that.
Shoot, man. Just shoot. You can feel when someone's offside. Yeah. In them positions, when you're passing the ball forward, you can almost feel when someone's ahead of you there. Because your vision on your left-hand side, Tom Davies would have... I'm sure he would... You just know, you've got a feeling that he might be offside. You're there, you've got the goal at your... Smash it past the goalkeeper. And he will not sleep tonight looking at that, 100%.
No, look... It's difficult as a midfield player. You're constantly passing and you're looking for... you're working out solutions and percentages at that point. You're going, right, where's the option that we're going to guarantee a goal here? And he's thought, there's a guaranteed goal. If he shoots and there's a deflection, then there's another option there. But he definitely should shoot.
You've got to know your players as well as a centre-half. You ain't passing there.
He might miss, you're right. He might miss.
You can pick your pen up while we hear from Rafa Benitez.
What, the one you threw?
As if. Here's Rafa. Pick it up.
Very proud of your side this afternoon.
Yeah, obviously really pleased because to come here and to perform in the way that we were performing, I think we were nearly there, very close. The chances that we had, the way that we were defending, I think against a very good team, you have to be really proud of the players and everyone.
Are you talking about that little chance at the end? You thought you got it?
I didn't see, so I was watching the linesman, and now with the VAR you have to wait, but I think it was a chance. So maybe Davis, if he can shoot and finish, we were talking about another thing, but anyway, really pleased with the effort, the commitment, and the way that we were doing things on the pitch during 90 minutes.
Was that the game plan that you wanted, that counter-attacks?
I was not thinking about to concede a goal, but okay, we did it. Then we have to manage. What I told them is that we were doing well. We conceded in the last 3 or 4 minutes in the first half. It was a pity because the team was working hard. And I was a little bit worried because they have players on the bench that they can make the difference, and we needed to keep the intensity, and that was not easy against a very good team. So that is the reason that I'm more pleased, because in the second half the team reacted well, and still we have chances to win the game.
That goal from Townsend was a fantastic breakaway, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that he's doing well. We know that his commitment is there, but also his quality. So, but this is again that the team has won. So it's not just has drawn in this case. It's not that one player that doing well. That he was fantastic, but the rest of the team working so hard to get a point here that, as I said before, could be even better.
Absolutely, a team performance. But we have to give an honourable mention to Damari Gray as well. He had a great game.
Yeah, I think it was not easy for him the last game because he was a little bit tired, and then still he played well. And to play at the level that he played this game. So I can say not too many things because the three up front, they were fighting. Rondon was holding the ball, heading the ball for the others, and the midfielders supporting, and the defenders dealing with these very good players. It's not easy, so everybody was doing quite well.
Quite well. More than quite well, I think. They played really well today. What's a good season for Everton?
Oh, that's just one of those questions. I don't know. Like,
that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I know, but look, they've got to be aiming for Europa League football. Essentially, I think with the trajectory that football club is on, and bringing in somebody like Rafa, I think Europa League football is a progressive season and maybe a run in the cup.
You would say that. You're all about the Europa League these days.
Europa Conference League, we are, mate. It's gone downhill.
United in front then against Everton at Old Trafford. 43rd minute was the defining one. Michael, you scored 13 goals, I've been checking, against West Ham and Newcastle. They were your favourite team.
Oh.
Anthony Martial has more against Everton than any other club. 7 now. And what about the build-up to this one?
Well, it was all about the build-up, Steve. I mean, this ball from Greenwood is sensational, and I've got no words to describe this first touch. You see Bruno Fernandes just checking over his shoulder to start with, seeing who's around, can I take a tight first touch? And once he checked, that, with the outside of his foot, totally into his stride, he doesn't break stride. It is staggering. The finish actually takes a slight deflection off Mina, just off his knee or the top of his thigh.
Does that in any way affect Pickford?
Oh, it's hard to say. He's quite close, so it might affect him slightly. You see where his hands are. He's only about 6 inches from the ball, so maybe. But that first touch from Bruno Fernandes has simply took my breath away in that first half. That was a moment of genius.
Well, that goal deserves to be replayed over and over again in terms of that. So let's do it. Owen, what's your take on that build-up?
Class. Everything about it was class. Mason Greenwood's movement was class. You know, as a winger, you threaten to go on behind. Then he comes into a little pocket there. This ball, as Mo said, is unbelievable. Look at Bruno checking his shoulder, as all the greats do. Mo's right. This touch is unbelievable. But this ball is just as good, by the way. It's a no-look, perfect weight, so Martial scores. I mean, everything about it is top class. Look at the weight of this. You know, a lot of players overhit that. You know, you got to take a touch and then you shoot. Bruno does everything perfect. You know, he's everything perfect.
They only overhit it, don't they? Because when you're playing, you can be safe and just hit the ball hard into your man. Not my fault, you know, it was bad finish or whatever. He's actually took all the risk himself. He's actually tempted, you know, the defence to actually get that. He's made it so easy, or as easy as it possibly can, for his teammate and took all the risk himself by just playing a perfectly weighted ball. As I say, if he wants to play safe, he took his nice touch, play safe, hit it a little bit harder. I've done my job, but he's not. He's such a team player, and that was just a sign of a genius.
Should United have been in front before then, with the chances they had?
Well, I think Everton have played quite well, actually. Wan-Bissaka does well. This is where we want to see him try and get in there. Martial at the back post. Mo knows better, but he just jumps too early. He doesn't. I don't think he really needs to, does he, Mo? He just jumps too early, mistimes it. Should have scored there. So that was a good chance. Greenwood's been fantastic. Him and Bruno have been the two best players there. He puts a perfect ball in. Mo's in there. He gets a tap in. Cavani's not there. Martial's not there at the back post. You think Ronaldo, he's tapping that in, isn't he? But I think Mason has been absolutely fantastic in the first half.
It's amazing that Mason Greenwood looks the sharpest player, yet he's the one player that played in midweek that's not been rested. This is a good chance for Cavani. He's quite far out. He's got to put a lot of power on it himself. He will be slightly disappointed because I think he's got another metre or so to find the corner of the net, and I've always said, just hitting the target is not enough. You've got to find corners at this level.
And you say Everton have played well?
They've had more shots than United. They don't have much of the ball, but we said before the game they're dangerous, very dangerous. And I think if they got Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison playing, they're in, the level at least. They give a good account of themselves. Defensively, they're sound. In midfield, Doucouré has been terrific. We've seen Demarai Gray play central, just breezes by Fred. And it's a good save from David De Gea again. So we said before the game it's a good Everton team, and it is. And I think Doucouré, he runs off Scott McTominay there. He's just such a good player, getting in the box at the right time. Needs a better finish. It's a good block from Wan-Bissaka. But I think Rafa will be quite proud of his team in that first half. I think they played well. But again, United have world-class players at the top of the pitch who will get them out of trouble.
Yeah.
In this episode, we are going to look at all the football news from today. So the first news is that Manchester United will appeal Aaron Wan-Bissaka's 2-match ban for his red card against Young Boys in Bern, and they will cite Kevin De Bruyne's tackle on Idrissa Gueye in Manchester City's 2-0 defeat to PSG in their defense. So the next news is that Erling Haaland's agent Mino Raiola is reportedly furious after Borussia Dortmund chief Hans-Joachim Watzke dismissed suggestions of a transfer pact. So the next news is that Arsenal ace Eddie Nketiah wants to leave the North London club in January, according to reports. The next news today is that Manchester United have stepped up their interest in AC Milan star Franck Kessié, according to reports. So Franck Kessié has been an amazing player at AC Milan and has improved season after season, and every big European club has their eyes on Franck Kessié, and now Manchester United have stepped up their pursuit of him and will reportedly look to sign him. So the next news is that Real Madrid could make a January move for Manchester United striker Edinson Cavani, who has been stuck on the bench since Cristiano Ronaldo's return. Having said that, Ronaldo was benched today against their match with Everton, and Edinson Cavani is starting that game. So I don't think this move will happen. So that's it for this video.